My name is Goze. I am the Black Love Permissionist. I am a certified life coach. I am an interpersonal and intrapersonal relationship advocate, and I exclusively focus on Black American relationships. Just so you know, that is the framework that I will be coming from. I call it Black Love Permissionism. It is my love letter to the Black American. And today is my first time ever going live on YouTube. So I'm just going to ask that you all be patient with me. This is a first. I'm still getting used to how everything works. I want to talk about a subject that is near and dear to me. If you don't have the patience to watch a live video, I expect that this video will go about 30 minutes or so. I've also written about this on Substack. So if you look on Substack under Black Love Permissionist, you can read about it if you're into that kind of thing. But I want to go ahead and just get into it, okay? I have notes because if anyone knows me, I can start way up here in the heady skies, and then before you know it, I have just plummeted into a rabbit hole, and you are still waiting for me to land the plane on a point I made 10 minutes ago. So I'm going to do my best to keep my undiagnosed ADHD under control. I have notes in front of me to keep me on point. For anyone who watches this video, I want to thank you for showing up. I am really grateful to the people who really take to heart the work that I'm doing. This work is so important to me, and I hope that anyone who has the opportunity to watch this video today, or the snippets that I take from this video to plaster all over the other socials, that you are touched and moved to take a different look at your relationship with, first of all, yourself, your relationship with your village, your relationship with your economic ecosystem, and how you approach intimate partnerships or relationships. So that's what I'm here to talk about. I call this Live from the Overflow. Live from the Overflow. That is a spin off of one of my frameworks that I call the Overflow design. And I just got through explaining to you what that means. In the Overflow design, we talk about first how we are impacted as individuals. This is my approach. Oh Me, Oh My Coaching is my coaching business. And in Oh Me, Oh My Coaching, we practice Black Love Permissionism. Like I said, my name is Goze, the Black Love Permissionist. And we focus on how do we internalize whatever it is, right? Whether it's good, whether it's bad, how do we internalize it, and how does it apply to us as individuals, knowing that whatever's happening to us on an individual scale is also going to overflow into our village. And whatever's happening on the village level is going to flow into our economic ecosystem. And then whatever is happening in our ecosystem will definitely impact how we perceive romantic and intimate partnerships. Okay, so I thank you all for showing up. If you are on here, I'm just getting used to YouTube Live. So just let me know you're in the comments. You can type hello, you can type your name. Just let me know you're here if you are watching. I'm really happy to have you here if you have decided to join me. And feel free to let me know where you are. I'm coming from Chicago, Illinois, baby. Chi-town, okay? That's where I'm coming from. So, as some people might know, my family has been grieving. I'm just going to come out and say it. We just buried my dear first cousin, one of my favorite cousins. He was a police officer, and he had a hero's homegoing. He really did. Helicopters, horses, a parade. They shut most of the town down, small town stuff. And we celebrated my cousin's life. He was only 32 when he passed. Oh, I have someone here from India. I love it. I love it. Hello, hello. Dance Vibe 23. Thank you for popping in. Thank you so much. Okay, so my cousin had a hero's home going, and this is why this question hit so hard for me because I know that my cousin had a tight knit village, right? Our family, we've lost in the double digits people in our family for the last 4 years. So we've all been grieving heavily. We don't have the biggest family. So this has forced us to get tighter and tighter as a family. And that's not how we always were. So understand this tight knit thing we have going on. We are working on it. But in terms of my cousin's nuclear family, his mom, his dad, his brother, tight knit. My cousin was married, he had two daughters, a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. Again, tight knit family. He was a family man. Every Sunday, his parents came over to he and his wife's house. His brother came over and they had Sunday dinner at his house. This is, I am Southern bred. Most Black Americans, right? We come from the South, and even if we weren't born in the South, a lot of our customs come to us from the South, right? So I come from a good Southern family, daddy from Mississippi, mama from Arkansas. So my cousin had a tight-knit village, but a friend of mine, as I was telling about all the bells and whistles from his funeral, she asked me, well, who all is in the village? Black people want to know who all over there. Who all is in the village? And is the village always good? And she had questions, a dear friend of mine. And she's been through some stuff. And I'm going to talk about the stuff she's been through because so have I. And likely if you're on this video, so have you. The question hit hard because I know that everybody doesn't have the same experience that my cousin Ryan had. So I want us to talk about it. Let's just get to the truth. Let's get to why we are here. What do you do when your village ain't worth shit? I'm just going to say it. What do you do when your village ain't worth a good cuss, as my granny used to say? Because some of us come from a village that seriously was not worth a damn. And if this is you, you could type the number 2. That way I know it's a Me Too situation. Type the number 2. If you came from a community, you came from a family, you came from a village where things did not go well. You were not treated well. You did not feel safe in your village. Type the number 2 if that was your experience. Okay? If you've ever felt like your village failed you, you are the person I'm talking to today. So of course, I know that this is something that impacts more people than Black Americans, but I am the Black love permissionist. So obviously I'm going to look at it through a Black love permissionist lens. I'm focusing specifically on Black Americans who descended from enslaved Africans, right? And I am very well aware that all Black Americans did not descend from enslaved Africans, okay? So if that is not your story and this doesn't resonate with you, you can go ahead. This video ain't for you, and that's just fine. All right, but just a quick little history review. I'm not going to go too deep into the rabbit hole. Our villages were literally torn apart. Families were sold. Centuries of conditioning taught us to devalue ourselves and each other. Hello, Linda Mays. Hello, Linda Mays. Welcome. Where are you coming from, Linda? And the thing is, every time we built from the ground up, America found a way to destroy it. Now, these are not opinions. These are historical facts. I'm just giving a quick little rundown so we can get to why I'm talking about this today and how this impacts our modern day villages, okay? Every time Black Americans tried to get up from under the oppression, white America found a way to destroy it. That's just how it worked. This is the legacy of America, right? And that legacy of rupture from Florida. What's up? I love Florida. We were just talking about Florida last night. So colonialism, capitalism, white supremacy, and patriarchy are all systems that have done a number on the Black village. And even done a number on our village mindset, right? The way that we conceptualize village, right? The way we think about what a village is even supposed to be. This is why I do the kind of work that I do, because it's important for me to build up Black people as individuals, Black villages, Black economic ecosystems. And of course, if you still have a little bit of room for love, and I'm talking about the romantic love, I'm talking about intimate partnerships, I'm the person to help you get there, right? But there are steps to getting there, which means we first have to understand the truth. What are we dealing with? How did we get here? That's a question I'm always asking. And how did we end up here? Okay. And this is not a pity party. Thank you, Linda Mays. I'm hanging in there. This is not a pity party. This is about tracing the lineage, understanding how unhealed trauma travels through the bloodline and shows up as abuse, as neglect, as poverty, and as broken systems. Thank you. Mad respect to you too, my sister. Okay, so we're looking at how what has happened historically to Black people in America impacts the modern day Black American. Okay? And look, I know that the things that I'm getting ready to share are not unique to me, right? Because now I'm going to talk about me personally, right? I grew up in a Black family, Black mama, Black daddy. If we take it back a little bit more, I come from grandparents who were farmers and sharecroppers. We take it back another generation. My great grands were all sharecroppers, right? We take it, and I've traced my genealogy back. So I'm talking about what I know, not from what some book I read, right? This is very personal to me, right? I have been able to trace my lineage back to the plantation on both sides. So if you look at me, I have Nigerian features, right? I come from Ghana, I come from Nigeria, I come from Benin, Togo, I come from Yoruba land. I am probably the prototype of who they would have snatched up and brought on over here, right? I'm built kind of strong, I'm built for it, tough as they say, okay? So how has what happened back then impacted me personally? Well, I grew up in an abusive home. Right, that's one of the first steps. I was. This is why I have the trigger warning on the description. I'm about to touch on some very triggering things. If you're a person that can't handle these sorts of triggering discussions, look in that description. This is your time. Okay, look at that top line in the description because I'm getting ready to go there. Okay. Yeah, I was abused by both my parents. I was sexually abused, verbally abused, and psychologically abused by my father. Yes, I was. That was my experience, right? I was physically abused. I was verbally abused. I was emotionally abused by my mother. These were the experiences that I had. I was emotionally neglected growing up because anyone who grew up, I'm right on the cusp of Gen X and the millennials. Anybody who grew up around the time when I grew up, nobody cared about your feelings. No one cared. If you were too sensitive, you were a crybaby. I got called all kinds of names. And so my emotions were neglected because the family culture that I grew up in did not know what to do with too many feelings. I grew up with a bunch of military families. So most of the people in my family had to go get it. They had no time to coddle me and my many emotions. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying this is how I grew up. Okay? I grew up with teachers who bullied me. Oh yeah, I was an A student, but the teachers didn't care. They did not like seeing some little nappy-headed little girl like me coming in there with confidence, feeling good about herself, and having dreams and goals. I grew up in mostly white schools. Okay? I have experienced betrayal from my friends. I have experienced betrayal from a lover. I have experienced these things. I grew up in church. Most African Americans, we grow up in church. I experienced a lot of church hurt and harm. I did. And this is not to say that the church is bad. I'm not here to convince anybody what they should and shouldn't believe, who their God is and who their God shouldn't be. That is not what I'm about. I'm just talking about the experiences that I've had. And I know that if you are a Black American watching this video, some of these experiences that I've had are also experiences that you have had. That's just what it is, right? So yes, I have experienced abuse from my parents, neglect from my family, bullying from my teachers, betrayal from friends and lovers, church hurt. I've experienced, when I left the church, I started to explore different spiritual communities, outside of organized religion. I wanted to expand. I wanted to practice something more indigenous to me, something that felt a little bit more connected to who I am as a Black woman, especially when I was doing a genealogy journey and I started learning more about where I actually came from. I wanted to be more connected with my spiritual journey. And I experienced harm in those spiritual communities as well. And this is not a pity party story, right? I'm no victim. I'm only sharing that these are all the things that overflow from American slavery, right? So if anything I said sounds familiar to you, type the number 2 in the comments. I want to know how many people have lived through this. If you're just coming on, I'm talking about what do we do when the village ain't shit? How do we handle when the people we thought were supposed to take care of us, when we thought the community that was supposed to wrap its arms around us, when we thought the nation, the country, the city was supposed to have our back and they didn't? We're talking about what do you do, but before we can get to what do we do, we have to at least see the issue for what it is, right? And I don't shy away from that. I see the twos. Thank you so much, Miss Linda Mays. If you just came in here, please let me know where you're coming from. Say hi. I'm not going to bite. I'm just here to deliver a message. I'm here to deliver the message. So when we talk about when the village harms us, right? And I'm going to be very vulnerable, right? I had a friend of 25 years, called her a sister. I'm grieving that relationship right now, right? So I'm experiencing a personal village rupture right now that I am overcoming. Many of us are experiencing grief. It is normal. It doesn't make us weak. The ways that we've been trained to look at one another, if you feel hurt because you feel undervalued, trust me, that is the design of the system. That is how those systems overflow into our lives. Okay? So have you ever lost someone you thought was permanent in your life? If you have, put a brokenhearted emoji in the chat. If you've ever lost someone that you thought was permanent in your life, put a brokenhearted emoji in the chat. And I want to read this Bell Hooks quote. I have been reading Bell Hooks All About Love, and she has just been speaking to me. She says, communities sustain life, not nuclear families or the couple, and certainly not the rugged individualist. There is no better place to learn the art of loving than in community. This is from Bell Hooks All About Love. I'll read it one more time. Communities sustain life, not nuclear families or the couple, and certainly not the rugged individualist. There is no better place to learn the art of loving than in community. Again, that is from Bell Hooks All About Love. This is what I teach. This is what I believe in. The nuclear family, those 2-parent households, they're not enough. That's not indigenous to any ancient African civilization. The village was the family, right? This idea of a 2-parent household being enough, or a 1-parent household being enough, or a mother and father being enough, or just you, as an individual, it is your job to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is all colonialism. This is white supremacy. This is patriarchy. This is capitalism. Okay? So what happens when the community isn't safe, right? I grew up in an unsafe community. Chances are, if you're still watching this video, you grew up in an unsafe community. So what do we do when the community isn't safe? If you are a Black American who is a descendant of American enslaved people who were stolen from Africa, likely you have never even considered that we've never had a safe village since we came over here, right? It's never been a thing. It's never been a thing. Oh, we have our moments, but we are learning. We are healing. And it takes trauma time to heal. We're dealing with historical trauma. We're dealing with intergenerational trauma. We are dealing with collective trauma. And of course, that impacts us. So we all have our own individual trauma stories, not to mention interpersonal trauma. Okay, this is compounded trauma that many of us are walking around with. Okay, so look, I know for a fact that some of us come from villages that make the village I grew up in seem like a walk in the park. I know it. I know it. Even with the stuff I said about my parents and my family and growing up in these schools, I know that there are people that would pay good money to trade childhood experiences with me. I know I'm not special. I know I'm not. So I want to ask you, first of all, what I read about bell hooks, about community sustaining lives, not nuclear families. Do you agree? Or do you feel like your village has proven the opposite? I want to know. Tell me the truth. Okay? What is your experience with the village? Right? Was it a good experience? Would you do it all over again? Is it something that you want to pass down to your children? Is it something you want to pass down to other generations? Who was in your village? Who was not in your village? Have you ever lost faith in your people? Have you ever lost faith in your people? And if so, what did it feel like? And I got one more question for you. Do you think that trust can be rebuilt once the village has failed you? Do you think that trust can be rebuilt once the village has failed you? And you can give me short answers, right? We don't have to write a book right now. Or you can just give me some emojis. That's cool, right? But I want us to reflect for a moment on what our village experience has been like. And if it's been great, awesome. We need you. If it's been great, we need you. We need all those hands on deck. Absolutely. But if it hasn't been, we still need you. Because the village needs you just as much as you need the village. So I want you to type yes if you believe that trust can be rebuilt. Type yes if you believe that trust can be rebuilt. And I want you to type no if you don't. If you don't think trust can be rebuilt, you're done with the village, you cut your whole family off, you don't deal with your community, right? You can't. You just run out of capacity. Type no. And it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here, right? I'm actually not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing or should or shouldn't be feeling. I just want to provide an alternative approach. If you feel safe, share some of your village experiences. If you had, if you had one time where maybe your village came through for you, if you had a time that you remember when your village came through for you, share it. I'd love to hear it. And if you have a time where the village really, really didn't have your back, the village dropped the ball bad, the village did not hold you when you needed to be held, then I want you to share about that as well. Okay, and I'd love to come back to these comments and see what we have here. I'm definitely going to post this live. All right, so look here. I only have about 8 more minutes left in this video, and I'm sticking to my notes because I do not want to be all over the place. Oh, I see my boo. Hey, Shy. You are sharing when your mom passed, how the village came through for you. I love that so much. And you are the inspiration for this topic. So thank you for showing up. You're the inspiration for this topic. Now look here, I'm gonna be honest. I don't claim to have the solution for all things Black. I don't. Hey. I don't. I don't claim to have the solution for all things Black. But I am a person who deeply values human connection, especially when it comes to Black people, right? This is my life's work. This is my passion. And so I can't talk about all these problems and then just leave it there. I have to give you at least a glimmer of hope, right? I have to. It's just the way, again, I was raised in the church, right? I got to drop the gospel on you. I got to drop the good news. So look here, even if the external village has failed you, they sucked, they jagged the bag, they dropped the ball, they mistreated you, right? They abused you, they used you, they manipulated you. The village really wasn't shit, because I know some of us really do come from some ain't shit villages, okay? And that's cool. I am not gonna try to gaslight you into thinking it was better than it was. All right? But I want you to know that even if the external village fails you, you can build your internal village. And that's what we're going to talk about for the next few minutes. So some practical steps to do that, right? Some practical steps to do that. One, study yourself. Study yourself. A lot of times when we're thinking about relationships with other people, we're paying so much attention to what they like, what they want, how they tick, how their mood swings, what's important to them, right? Now we are going to turn that around and do it for ourselves. We're going to study ourselves. And if you're a person that likes to journal, bust that journal out, right? Journals are great because they become records, and you can look back on those records and you can track your journey. If you're a person that doesn't like to write, maybe you're a person like me. I like to type my journals. A lot of times my writing is chicken scratch because I don't do it as much anymore, and I'm trying to get stuff out quickly. If you're faster at typing, cool. If you want to have an audio journal, you pull that phone out and you just start recording into that phone. But a journal is a way to track your journey. And I want you to ask yourself, what's one thing you've learned about yourself this year? And I want you to take the time to court yourself, to date yourself, to get to know yourself, to ask yourself important questions about you. And if something came up as an answer to that right now, feel free to drop it in the chat. I love it, right? Because we're taking ourselves on dates. And this is not something just for women. This is for anyone of any gender identity. Taking yourself out, treating yourself well. You got a favorite restaurant? Take yourself and order all the stuff. Go above and beyond. Get 4 courses. Get appetizers. Get dinner. Buy you a little cocktail if that's your thing. Get dessert. Oh, well, you got to take a big old doggy back home. You can't eat all that. You can eat it later because you deserve it. If you're not into going out to eat, what is your favorite solo activity? What do you like to do? If you thought about a beautiful time that you like to spend with someone special, where would you go and what would you do? Feel free to share it in the chat. I'd love to see it. But what I'm saying is, take yourself. You do that with yourself. This is twofold. It's giving yourself an opportunity to enjoy yourself by yourself, because now you're building up your relationship with yourself because you deserve it. And should nobody be able to spoil you more than you're spoiling you, right? That is my viewpoint on it. Okay? But also because now you are rebuilding trust. These are trust exercises. This means when you make a plan with yourself, you keep it. Right? You start asking yourself, what do you do to recharge? You think about it and then you do it. You make the plans and you keep it. Every time you make plans with yourself and you keep it, you build that trust. Right now, you're earning your trust, because some of us don't trust anyone around us because we've been hurt so many times. And I want to tell you that the reason that you don't trust them is because you don't trust yourself anymore. And how could you when you grew up in a shitty village? Trust is learned and earned. These are skills we have to learn. And it's okay if you're still learning. That just means that you are evolving mindfully. if you're doing it right. Okay? So I want you to commit these things to daily practice. So I want to ask, could you commit to 30 days of showing up for yourself every single day in at least one small way? That means every day for 30 days, you do at least one kind thing for yourself. If that's something you can do, type 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat if you're willing to do 30 days of one small thing for yourself. If you want to deepen it, I encourage you to look around. And if you have a partner or you're just going to stick with the journal, however you're going to do it, I want you to hold yourself accountable. I like having a partner. I just did 31 days of permissionism because, believe it or not, I get nervous on camera. I get nervous posting content. I like to write. I like to write and not be seen. Right? So my bestie said, hey, you need to do 31 days. You need to post online. You need to do videos. You need to do lives. My cousin said, goes, hey, you got to get on YouTube. You got to go live. And so I held myself accountable. I had people who I told, right? I even told all my following to hold me accountable. And the last thing you're going to do is observe. As you're making these changes, right? Because you're going to start noticing changes. Day 1, day 2, day 3, your day 7, your day 10. Every day you commit to doing one nice thing for yourself, one conscientious thing for yourself, one kind thing for yourself, one loving thing for yourself, one thing to show yourself that you care. You are building trust with yourself. You are keeping your word to yourself. You are showing loyalty to yourself. And as you're doing it, I want you to look around and just observe. That's it. Observe who in your life is actually supporting this growing version of you and who is resisting it. This doesn't mean you have to react because the 30 days are committed to you, not to them. But while you're committing to you, just observe your surroundings. Because again, I talk about the overflow design. See, the more you pour that love into yourself, you're going to start noticing that your village is going to change. Some people will likely say, ooh, this is dope. I noticed you changing. I've been wanting you to change. I've been praying for you to change. I've been wanting you to put yourself first. I've been wanting you to treat yourself better. I've been wanting you to make better decisions. I see you growing. That's what's up. Some people might be uncomfortable. And in their discomfort, they might not show up in ways that are pleasant to you. And I just want you to observe. Take those 30 days to pay close attention to yourself and then just look around and observe your surroundings. Okay? And after 30 days, you're going to have a much better trust of you, your inner village that you have built within yourself, right? Because then you're going to find that you are your friend. You are your lover. You are all the people who you need. And you're going to find that the people in your village who resonate with that energy are going to show up more powerfully, and you're going to see them better because a lot of that other bullshit and the people that don't resonate, baby, they're going to fall to the wayside. I promise you, I've seen it happen a million times. Okay. And I'm not saying that you're just going to arrive in 30 days. What I'm saying is if you could commit to it for 30 days, you can build the practice, and 30 days is enough time to see some serious change. Okay. So I ask you, what is one small way you can start building your internal village this week? What is one way that you can start building your internal village this week? And I ask that you share these things in the comments so that we can inspire each other. All right. In closing, I want us to remember, hey, the village may not have always shown up, but that doesn't mean you stop building. That doesn't mean you stop building, because the village that lives inside of you needs you just as much as you need the village that lives inside of you. Okay? So the strategy is simple, not easy, because it's going to challenge you to do things that you likely were not doing before. Most of us are not consistent with ourselves, but we want someone else to be consistent with us. Most of us are not loyal to ourselves, but we want someone else to be loyal to us. So remember, what I'm telling you, this is a strategy. It's a 30-day strategy, a 30-day commitment. It's not going to be easy, but it is simple, because you're going to start with building yourself and then building outward, right? And here are a couple of affirmations that you can say while you're on this journey. You can say, my village is always under construction because I am under construction, right? Patience. My village is always under construction because I'm under construction. This is evolution. It is a journey, not a destination, right? You can also say, my boundaries protect me, but they do not imprison me. My boundaries protect me, but they do not imprison me. Give yourself permission to love, starting with yourself and allowing yourself to be receptive to that from you, so that you can start to model to yourself what your new standard is. And then you can be receptive to that from the people who meet your standards and your requirements. Okay? I encourage you not to give up on yourself. Your internal village needs you. Your external village needs you. We need you as much as you need us. So I want you to type build in the comments if you're committing to working on your internal village this week. If you are committed to cultivating something new, type build in the comments. And if you're looking for a community and you happen to be Black and you're looking for an online community of people who can support you on this journey, again, I am Goze, the Black Love Permissionist. I am a certified life coach, and I am an interpersonal and intrapersonal relationship advocate who focuses exclusively on Black relationships. If you're looking for someone who can support you on that journey, I am starting my first, a lot of firsts for me right now, online community. It's called the Year of Me Inner Circle. It is a Facebook group, and we are going to be offering you some yummy goodness to help you on this journey to yourself, which is going to overflow into your village, which will overflow into your new economic ecosystem. And if you still have love to give, it will absolutely set you up for success and overflow into your intimate partnerships. DM the word me in the chat if you want to join the Year of Me Inner Circle. I will send you the link that you need and we could get you going. It is a year-long initiation. It is a year-long initiation, and I'd love to have you over here. So that's all I got for today. I went 9 minutes over, but for me, honestly, that's actually pretty good, okay? Thank you all for chiming in, those of you who did, and those of you who will see this video. Please stay the course. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on your village. I love you all.